Welcome back. With Republicans set to take control of the House in the next Congress, one big question for the party: who will be next Speaker of the House? While the presumed frontrunner is House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy, a number of Republicans are speaking out against the California congressman, among them Florida Representative Matt Gaetz. On Christmas Eve, Gaetz urged Ohio Republican Congressman Jim Jordan to enter the race for Speaker, tweeting, "All I want for Christmas is for Jim Jordan to realize he should be Speaker of the House." Let's talk a little bit more about this with the Hill's national political reporter, Julia Manchester. Julia, good morning. Gaetz has been calling on Republicans to back somebody else other than McCarthy for quite some time. I want to play a soundbite from what he told me a few weeks ago.
Well, Kevin McCarthy believes in a House of Representatives where the leadership make all the decisions. And whether it's Republicans or Democrats in charge, we've seen that fail the American people. We've seen it result in bills that are thousands of pages of long, spending billions of dollars without even the time to be able to review legislation. Our vision is for a House of Representatives where all of the members are empowered to represent their constituents, to have a real voice on matters of appropriations. I'm also troubled that in the days following January 6th, it was Kevin McCarthy's belief that President Trump ought to resign.
So how big of a concern is this infighting for Republicans right now?
You know, right now, I think it is a concern in that going forward, if McCarthy is presumably elected Speaker, and he does appear to have enough votes, whether it's narrowly or by a landslide, he does appear to have those votes. I think there's a concern as to whether these Republicans are able to rally around Kevin McCarthy in order to pass through various pieces of legislation, to conduct oversight, and really to conduct business of the House Republican caucus. Look, we've already started to see these divides emerging within the House GOP caucus. I mean, you have people like Matt Gaetz very much going up against Kevin McCarthy and conservatives. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, two very conservative congresswomen, parting ways over this speaker's race. So clearly there's a lot of divide, and it could affect the agenda going forward. And I think that's a concern not only for the establishment House Republicans, but also for Senate Republicans, because we know that a lot of these same conservative House Republicans have spoken out against Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell as well. So it definitely puts the House Republican establishment on notice.
But has Congressman Jordan given any indication he's even interested in being Speaker?
You know, from as of what we know now, I haven't seen any indication or any response, but we'll probably find out within the next couple of weeks if someone like him throws his name in the ring. I think right now a lot of House Republicans on the conservative side, like Matt Gaetz, like Lauren Boebert, are really trying to rally around a figure, because for weeks, Adrienne, we were hearing that, yes, they wanted someone other than McCarthy, and they were saying there were people in the running, but we didn't have specific names. So this is one of the first times, to my knowledge, that we've heard a specific name, and a major name at that, very much mentioned.
Republicans do have that majority in the House with 218 seats to Democrats 211. How will this all impact McCarthy's chances to actually win the speakership and get enough votes?
You know, look, it depends how much support people like Matt Gaetz can rally in the speaker's race, and I think it depends on who is ultimately nominated to challenge McCarthy. Someone like Jim Jordan, someone who has been a very public face in the House Republican caucus, someone who has conducted a number of oversight hearings and sat on a number of those committees. I think someone like Jim Jordan could potentially rally that support, but at the same time, though, I think right now you're going to see a lot of internal politics going on behind the scene. I'm sure Kevin McCarthy will be trying to very much shore up that support, so he has a clear mandate going into this Congress. If he wins narrowly, he doesn't have a mandate, and it's not necessarily a strong win, and it could weaken him going forward.
Julia Manchester from The Hill, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.